What's up, Miami Dolphins representatives? This the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide. I'm your host, Dave Wave, back on the set, back in your monitor, back on your speaker once again with another episode. On this show, I'm going to give you the recap of the game based on the film, rewatching the game and looking at the numbers. We lost 17-33 to the 49ers. Our defense made plays and attacked the ball in the air, but I feel like we was missing a lot of tackles and not clamping down enough in the run game, stopping the run. And in the past, I feel like we've gave up big plays and run pursuit and haven't gotten enough tackles for loss or for no gain or for short yardage. I think Christian Wilkins did a damn good job this game, getting penetration, shooting through that A and that B gap and getting in there, getting tackles for loss. I think he had a real big impact in this game, and it shows on the stat sheet. But I did have a gut feeling that this would be a trap game and that we could possibly lose just because of the travel to the West Coast and because this game was a battle between the teacher and the apprentice. I mean, it's well documented and chronicled that Mike was a student of that Shanahan attack. And, you know, they both know each other well and know what each other likes to do. Obviously, with, McDaniel being on his staff last year and at other stops in the past. I mean, we basically running almost the same offense with Mike's stamp on it. And, you know, he does have variations to his assault, but like I said, it's pretty much the same thing. They have their first half play selection changed throughout the year. When I analyzed the 49ers and their offense, their first 7 games, I think they were balanced with running the football and passing. They ran 45% of the time and they passed 55% of the time. But their last 4 games, you know, their running percentage went down a little bit. It dipped to 36%. And their passing increased to 64%. So they've been leaning on the passing game with Garoppolo in there, but they've still found a way to win, which means that they're unpredictable. They could beat you by being balanced, or they can beat you by leaning on the passing game and not the run, which is impressive because a lot of people think of them as more of a team that is going to be 64% run, but that's not the case. I know a lot of the critics and a lot of pessimistic fans out there who've been on the edge of their seats, like I said on Facebook, hating and waiting for Tua to make a mistake or to have a bad game or multi-interception game so they could talk trash and say that he got outplayed by a 7th rounder. But just like Mike said on the sidelines, you know, after the refs screwed us on that damn call, that's fucking bullshit. I mean, Tua was off on some throws. Yes, he did throw kind of high, and you know, he was off the mark and inaccurate in this game. You know, I gotta definitely give him the blame for that. But the stats show that the running game was trash, and it could have been better. I would say that the refs called some bullshit calls this game. We lost because we didn't execute like how we should, like how we have in the past this game. But the refs made some, the calls they made, man, and you know, the penalties that we had also contributed. We had some stupid penalties, false start penalties, which I'm gonna talk about. So all of those things contributed to the loss. And Tony Dungy said it in the halftime show on Sunday Night Football. The 49ers offense is an easy offense for any skilled quarterback to step in and succeed because of the West Coast scheme, which obviously y'all been following me this long. Y'all know I love the West Coast offense. I'm a proponent of the West Coast offense. I told y'all before we got Mike McDaniel, my top 5 coaches were West Coast offensive coaches. And that's what we ended up getting because I knew that was going to be the perfect fit for Tua. And, you know, and that's because you just got to be mobile. You got to be accurate. You got to have good footwork. And you got to be great at understanding the concepts of the West Coast scheme and what we're trying to do, you know, as far as how they're trying to attack the defense horizontally and vertically. You know, and when you look at the running backs they have as well, like I said, Christian McCaffrey, he gave us the business, both on the ground and in the air. He had 17 carries for 66 yards on the ground with 8 recs for 80 yards and a touchdown through the air. He did bust one for 30 yards, which killed our chances of coming back late in the fourth quarter. And, I mean, they just hurt us, you know, running the stretch play to the right in a wide zone run scheme with Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason had 8 carries for 51 yards. It's like they just find running backs, the 49ers. They had Trey Sermon, who I wish we would have got. I don't think he's with them anymore. He's not with them right now. But Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson. Where did Jeff Wilson come from, you know? And he's been productive for us since we got him. Raheem Mostert. You know, they're the Shanahans, they're great at finding running backs. Like I told y'all, his dad did it. Olandis Gary, you know, Clinton Portis. You know what I'm saying? He no matter who he had, he found a way to make plays with the running backs that he had, you know, and that's what I like. But Jordan Mason was a problem for us. 6.4 yards per carry. Again, and to all the other Facebook fans out there that I've been following and talking to and commenting on, I told you, look at how the 49ers are doing it with their power. They got a power running back in Jordan Mason, or you can fill in the blanks. Trey Sermon was going to be that power running back. Jeff Wilson was that. I think Elijah Mitchell, he's that power running back. And then you go and get Christian McCaffrey to be the perfect versatile running back who can produce both in the air. You're going to target him in the passing game on those angle routes, wheel routes that are customary in the West Coast. And then you're also going to run him, you know, off of the I form, off of the split back formations in the power running game as well, so that he can use his speed and wiggle to cause problems. You know, you got to count one of the linebackers who's manned up on him, got to account for him in both phases of the game on offense. We did contain Deebo Samuels to some degree, shut him down in the rushing game, but he did catch 6 passes for 58 yards. George Kittle made some key conversions. It don't show up on the stat sheet, but he made some key conversions to keep their drives going. Brandon Ayuk had 5 recs for 46 yards, but I thought Xavier Howard, you know, competed and had a dope interception against him, getting back to his old self. That means he's going to be getting some future picks in these next few games, because he's going to string them together. I believe that's going to happen. And but defensively, the 49ers, Nick Bosa, he wrecked some of our plays, and he was in the backfield way too many times. He had 3 sacks and 4 quarterback hits on Tua. Some plays, I think a couple of them, you seen Tua like body almost bending back, knees buckling, like he can't get hit like that, you know. But y'all do gotta stop with the Tua got outplayed by a 7th rounder, because he didn't. I mean, Tua had more yards than him, so stop with that. And to me, it was more of Mike McDaniel got defeated by Niners defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. That's really what happened. Kyle Shanahan moved his chess pieces better than Josh Boyer did and exposed weaknesses in our pressures. And that's something that we need to get fixed. Let's take a look at the game breakdown. First quarter, soon as Tua get the ball, we received the ball to start the game. First pass, slant route, the wide receiver Trent Sherfield, who turned on the Jets and flew to the left side of the field for a touchdown to make it 7-0 to give us the lead. From the offset, defense gets on the field. And these plays that I'm going over, as y'all know, it's not in no particular order, but these are the plays that I took notes on that stood out. 14 minutes and 45 seconds, 49ers open up in a single backs tight set, and they run a stretch play to McCaffrey, who runs right. Then Garoppolo made a good adjustment to our front pressure by sidestepping to the right and finding Ayuk in a move for, Yak. Christian McCaffrey at 12 minutes and 46 seconds put a juke on Duke Riley to get separation, and Jimmy threw a dot to McCaffrey. But then we brought the heat on him with Phillips and Baker, and Garoppolo got hurt on a sack. He had to get carted off the field, and the 49ers ended up kicking a field goal to make it 7-3. Offense gets on the field, and we didn't capitalize and follow that up with another touchdown. I noticed 9 minutes and 48 seconds, Tua is in single back shotgun with Mostert in, and he wasn't able to drop the ball over the linebacker. He was inaccurate on that throw, and we ended up punting the ball. Defense gets on the field, 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Howard had a good deflection covering Deebo Samuels to prevent a touchdown after the 49ers drove down the field. 6 minutes and 20 seconds, it was a bullshit holding call on Kader Kohou. He was hand fighting, with the receiver, but I thought it was a bad call. I mean, it put the 49ers in scoring position, and it was home cooking. I mean, they took full advantage. They ran the ball with Mason and McCaffrey until Purdy ended up finding fullback Kyle Juszczyk to the right for a touchdown to make it 7-10. Our offense gets back on the field. Tua again inaccurate, threw a bad pass to Waddle on 3rd and 7. Would have converted for a first down and possibly more, but he underthrew the ball, and we ended up stalling on our drive, and we had to punt. Defense gets back on the field. 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Melvin Ingram blew up the run play, overpowering. I think it was Trent Williams to stop McCaffrey for a loss, but that got called for tripping. And it's not like he extended his leg out to trip the guy. I mean, I didn't. That's not what I saw. Y'all let me know in the comment section if that's what y'all saw. To me, it just looks like he couldn't tell. It just coincidentally his leg just kind of tapped the guy, but it didn't. I don't think it should have been for a 15-yard penalty. I mean, that was a BS call. Again, that helped keep their drive going. 1 minute and 10 seconds, big Christian Wilkins gets penetration and gets that tackle for loss that we should have got with Melvin Ingram. And they ended up having to punt the ball. Offense gets back on the field with 50 seconds. Tua off on another throw to Waddle too high. I think he was, again, trying to drop it over the linebacker. And he's normally on point with that, but he was off this game. Still going, 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Alec Ingold dropped the swing pass that would have been a good conversion. Three seconds, Tua completed a pass to Tyreek Hill. Second quarter, 13 minutes, 45 seconds. Tua using good eye manipulation to the right when throwing a strike to Hill. Then 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I like on the 3rd and 1 play. Actually, I like the play before that, but the 3rd and 1 play, Joey Bosa ends up sacking Tua and forced us to kick a field goal. And I blame that sack on running back Jeff Wilson. If you go back and watch the tape, he missed the chip block that he should have got on on Nick Bosa. I call him Nick Bosa. And he ended up falling to the ground, and Nick had a clean shot on Tua. I also didn't like that play call in that down and distance situation. I think Mike had a arrogant moment, and on that call, and he just, we've been doing so well with the offense, and I like the fact that Mike, we got to credit him for having balls. I mean, he's got, it's on a wheelbarrow. He's willing to take chances, but there's times when when you playing chess, you can't always attack. Sometimes you gotta know how to not really retreat, but just, you got to know how to just step back sometimes, see what they're doing. And you gotta take what they give you sometimes and kick the field goal. If you gotta kick the field goal, punt the football, punt the ball. You gotta punt the ball. Sometimes punting the ball can put you in a better situation, as far as down and distance. You punt. We at the 40. Yeah, I like to go for it, but there's times when it's better to just punt it and pin them inside of the 5 or inside of the 10. We bring that pressure, get a sack, get the ball back. They got to, or either from a turnover, maybe a pick 6, or they may have to punt it back to us, and we get the ball back right where we had it. But this time we got, forward progress. We running the ball. We might be able to take it the distance or put us inside field goal position. So ending every drive with a kick is not a bad thing. But defense gets on the field. I like that tackle for loss by Zach Sealer, he's been consistent week in and week. It seems like Zach Sealer's on my big fish baller list every single week. But he got a tackle for loss. Offense gets back on the field. 8 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second quarter. Tua threw a mini bum wheel route to running back Jeff Wilson, but Wilson couldn't track it in the air and make the catch. The ball wasn't exactly perfect, but it was definitely catchable. I think maybe he shouldn't have jumped. Maybe he should have kept running and the ball would have been there. And I don't know if maybe the lights, the ball got caught in the lights and he couldn't see it, but it was catchable. He should have made that catch. Defense gets on the field. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left. Andrew Van Ginkel with a sack. Then at 5 minutes and 11, I like that Xavier Howard interception covering Brandon Ayuk, coming down with the ball, being a post player, using his body as a way of getting the advantage to the ball. Xavier Howard got the skills and the techniques, man. Offense gets on the field. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Mike McDaniel called a timeout to talk to Tua. I like that. And that's that timeout. The reason why I took a note on that is because I think coaches need to do that more. I gotta give kudos to McDaniel for that. Calling a 20-second like how they do in basketball. Sometimes, don't always call a time. I mean, yeah, of course, call a timeout when the clock is running low. Call the timeout, if you see something that the defense is in that is going to be an advantage for them and not for the offense. Obviously, if you can't audible to a good play. But I think sometimes it's good to call a timeout when you just see that the offense is stagnant or maybe their body language is not good. Using the timeout in the first quarter is good to talk to them boys and get them boys back right. 2 minutes and 53 seconds, Joey Bosa had a third down sack on Tua. That was more of a bad play call against what the 49ers were running, in my opinion, instead of I can't say that it was the O-line, but we ended up punting the ball. Defense gets on the field with 37 seconds on the clock. Another bad call by the refs on Xavier Howard. And then Purdy threw a pass to McCaffrey for a score to make it 10-17. We go into the half. At this point, Tua was doing pretty good. It was 8 for 18, 162 yards. Third quarter, defense, 12 minutes and 1 second. Melvin Ingram with a sack on third down to force them to punt. Good play by Melvin Ingram. Offense at 10 minutes and 56 seconds. Tua Tagovailoa shows good pocket presence, stepping up in the pocket to complete a long pass to Hill. Still got hit by Bosa on the knees. Like I said, his knees buckled. And they should have called that. I don't know why they didn't call a penalty on that. 10 minutes and 13 seconds. Another bullshit call by the refs on a holding illegal block in the back by Robert Hunt, which negated what would have been the best run of the game by Raheem Mostert. On that, again, another thing that I noticed that I've been liking, I think Mike McDaniel might have been watching my videos. I think he might have watched that Shula split back video, or that and that 49ers video in the Tua's new playbook series, because like I showed y'all on the split back system video, Marino was in split back shotgun formation quite a bit. He was in far and near quite a bit, which I'm gonna talk about, because I don't know why the hell I think Mike McDaniel should incorporate far and near formations to what we're doing right now. Go back and watch the tape. You can watch any Dolphins tape with Marino back in the day. You're gonna see him. Yes, we did run shotgun single back. Yes, he did. Yes, he did run single back plays from under center. But the staple to the Shula system that is proven and works is two running backs, or a running back and a fullback, in different combinations of split back formations. And I noticed that McDaniel has been doing a great job. Props to you, McDaniel. If you have been watching my videos, props to you for having Tua in these split back formations with two running backs on the side of him in shotgun for that added protection. You could check and release them out into the backfield at any given time, and the defense is not going to know when. You can use them as additional linemen, as 6th and 7th man blockers. And I like that. And Mike, you've been running that out of that split back formation. You've been running that sweep play. That's the play I'm talking about, where Robert Hunt had to block in the back. If y'all play Madden, run the West Coast offense, choose a split back shotgun, and run that sweep play to the running back, and identify the Mike to the far right, or whoever is the furthest back there, and you finna get yards. Later on, you could play action out of that and catch one of your receivers on the dig route, and we could set teams up with that to Waddle or Hill at any given time. But shout out to you for running them split back formations. I want to see you run more though. I like the I formation. Why are we not giving Ingo the ball to run it sometimes? Do that. I think that'd be a good idea. You gotta throw him off. Throw him off, because then later you could fake to the fullback, toss to the running back. You know what I'm saying? Or we could fake to the fullback, screen play. And another staple of the West Coast offense from Andy Reid's version of it is running more running back screens. If you look at Andy Reid, when he had McNabb with Brian Westbrook with the Eagles, they were a good screen team. And I don't know why we're not running. We should be running more running back screens to Wilson and Gaskin and Mostert. All three of those running backs. But back to the coverage. 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Brock Purdy converted on third down to Deebo Samuels because a linebacker, Landon Roberts, didn't stay in the zone to pick up Samuels across the middle. 5 minutes and 42 seconds. Javon Holland with a big hit to level Christian McCaffrey short of the first down. And then I like the play by the defense on 4 minutes and 11 seconds. We blew up a reverse to Deebo Samuels for a loss to make it 2nd and 14. He should have lost more yards, but his quickness and his agility and his just ability to break tackles, man. He broke 4 tackles. We had 4 guys there, and he was able to break it, get underneath those guys, and turn what would have been probably a 20. They would have been 2nd and 20. They ended up being 2nd and 14. But they ended up kicking a field goal to make it 10-20. Offense gets back on the field. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Tua throws another interception. This was a terrible throw to Hill. He threw the ball behind him. Miscommunication on that probably. And then the defense gets on the field. 1 minute and 50 seconds. They had Purdy completed a pass to McCaffrey. It was a catch and a fumble to me. That should have been a turnover, but they didn't call it. Again, The refs they looking out for the Niners. I mean, they ended up kicking a field goal to go up 10-23. Offense didn't capitalize yet. 10 seconds, Trent Sherfield had a false start penalty. And then, probably the best throw that Tua made all year was that goddamn bomb that he threw to Tyreek Hill with 14 minutes and 28 seconds. Just like he was doing in the interview, in stride for touchdown 17-24. And after we scored, after he threw that bomb, I'm thinking, and I know all y'all was thinking the same thing, we coming back to win this game. We're coming back to win this game. 17-23. We need a touchdown to make it 24-23. I'm thinking this is the score. I posted on Facebook. I said, look, we're going to come back and win this game. I'm going to do the recap, and that's going to be the end of it. But we ended up losing. And, you know, we just, the fourth quarter, we wasn't able to come back. Tua ended up, they called it a fumble. I thought it was, it could have been called an incomplete pass, but at that point it didn't matter. They ended up scoring again and make it 33-17, and that was the end, you know. But the teacher outclassed the apprentice. I blame Mike McDaniel more for this loss than Tua. I think Tua played, even though he was kind of off on his throws and early on, after the bomb, he looked like he was ready to come back. You know, I thought it was a catch to Gesicki. Gesicki, I could see how they called it an incomplete pass, but that was a catch, goddammit. That was a catch. We converted, and then we had like 5 minutes left. We could have came back. And I definitely believe if they would have called it a catch, if it was ruled a catch, we was going to win this game. We was going to win this game, but it didn't happen. Let's take a look at some of the game time stats, some more of the stats. Like I said, Tua was inaccurate in the first half, but there was some drops as well. He went 18 for 33, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 bad interceptions. He got sacked 3 times for 20 yards with a terrible QBR of 19.5 and a 79.7 rating. Those 2 interceptions he threw were costly, obviously. First pick, I blame on Jeff Wilson. Get your head turned around. Look for the football. And he got to get rid of it because you know he got to get rid of it fast. Second pick was all on Tua because he threw it behind Tyreek. We had less than 10 carries on the ground for just 33 yards. Mike McDaniel, why are you not running the ball? Remember, it's link and chain, baby. The running game is in sync with the passing game, is in sync with the running game. Deception, baby, deception. Yeah, your plays look good. Yeah, I see the tight formations. Defense has got a problem with that. These tight formations Mike McDaniel got that shit mastered. Motion, they can't stop it. I get it. We killing teams with that because in those tight formations, that gives Tyreek and Waddle more room to release in different ways. And not only can they release, but they can also be blockers in the running game because they're closer to the line of scrimmage. They're not so far out wide. With them being close, they can aid in the running game, especially on them toss plays. Yes, Mike, I see that. However, you're not creating deception. I like the plays, but you're creating deception with the motion, but I don't think you're creating enough deception with the running game. And with you being the running game coordinator with San Francisco last year, I want to see more deception with the running game. You do have it, yeah. I like the play action where Tua got his back turned. I see that, but let's not just do that. Let's have also some more deception in these I formation plays, in far and near. Bring the far and near into the playbook, please. I want to see that. Tua completed passes to 8 pass catches. And by the way, back to the running game. Raheem Mostert had 7 of those carries for 30 yards. Wilson had just 1 carry for 3 yards. Raheem need at least 15 touches a game. And then Wilson or whoever else you want to bring in there, you can get him 10 touches or maybe 12 touches, something like that. Or maybe 15 apiece. Way more than 8 and 9. But back to the receivers. Tyreek led the unit with 9 catches for 146 yards and a touchdown. He kept us in the game for most of the game, and he was making clutch catches. And, I mean, this man has been earning every single penny. The best catch was obviously the 45-yard bomb that he caught. Tags putting it right on the money. Probably the best deep ball, like I said. So that's encouraging. That's encouraging. He's going to be more of that. There's going to be more of that. But with the numbers he'll put up this game, he ended up passing Mark Duper for most receiving yards in a single season with 1,358 yards. We still got like 5. We still got more games to play. And when we get in the playoffs, because I'm speaking this into existence, he's going to get yards in the playoffs. This right now places him second behind the other Mark brother, Mark Clayton, who's first with 1,389 yards. And he did that in 1984 in that season when Marino went off for like 5,000 yards. And that's when we went to the ship against the Niners, ironically, Marino's only visit. But the Cheetah's going to pass Clayton next week against the Chargers. And he's going to be officially the best wide receiver in the history of the Miami Dolphins franchise that we've ever had. And obviously respects to Nat Moore, respects to the Marks brothers, but this is going to be monumental. And what's scary about that is he could probably do this again in these next years in his contract. Next year, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he could put up 1,800 yards next year. I mean, it's realistic. And when you look at the top 5 list, Duper's on the list twice. He gained 1,306 yards in 1984 and 1,313 yards in 1986. Irvin Fryer had 1,270 yards in our 1994 season. We still got more games, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Waddle might end up getting on this list. He might pass Fryer this year if he gets, and if they get to 1 and 2 on the list, that'll be historical. Tyreek, Waddle, Duper, Clayton. That just right. Greg Fries from Facebook. You wanted to know what I thought about the O-line. Our O-line played well enough for us to win this game. Tua just made some bad throws. Mike McDaniel got out-coached in down-the-distance situations. I know the easy thing to do is to blame them, but like I said, we sacked the Niners 4 times, their quarterbacks 4 times, hit them 10 times. Garoppolo ended up getting out of the game. They sacked Tua only 3 times. I ain't gonna say only is like 3 times is okay. 3 times is bad, obviously, but he got hit 5 times compared to us hitting them 10 times. So our O-line played better in pass protection. Like I said, they had more rushing yards, but that's because they committed to running the football. Mike McDaniel did not. He only ran the ball 8 times. That is Mike McDaniel's play calling, not the O-line. And I'm glad I put that out there so y'all can just analyze the game in a different way. Really look at it. Don't just go by what everybody's saying. Yeah, it's the O-line. Maybe it's not the O-line. Maybe it's Mike McDaniel. Maybe it is the play calling. Maybe it's something else. So, but when you look at the AFC, other teams lost as well. And those losses can help us later on. The Bills beat the Patriots to put them, back at first in the division at 8-3. I think it still works out in our favor because it dropped the Patriots record to 6-6. And the Jets, they lost to the Vikings in a close game. Minnesota ended up winning 27-22 to drop them to 7-5. The Chiefs lost to the Bengals. Cincinnati won 27-24 to drop them to 9-3. So, we still only a game behind them. The Chargers lost to the Raiders to make them, that they lost that game 27-20. That dropped them 6-6. And, the Ravens got the same record as us. So we still in good position. There ain't nothing to panic over. Y'all got to stop with all the pessimism. We still in a good position to do what we need to do and complete the mission. My Big Fish Ballers of the Week list. Tua's on the list, even though, he could have. This is probably the worst game that he played this year. Still got him on the list. Trent Sherfield's on the list. Alec Ingold is on the list. Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler, Xavier Howard, Kader Kohu, he's on the list. Melvin Ingram's on the list. Jalen Phillips is on the list. And Javon Holland is definitely on this list. Next week, we got the Chargers. We got them. They flexed it out to the Sunday night game on NBC Peacock. So we gonna be. I had that game circled on the calendar for all y'all Justin Herbert fans. I hope we win that game because that'll be 2 head-to-head wins that Tua have on Justin Herbert. And when he win this game, especially if Justin Herbert throws a pick six to Howard or throws any kind of interception, it's over. I don't want to hear nothing about Justin Herbert for the next 2 years. For the next 2 years, I don't want to hear nothing. So that's what I believe is going to happen. We got more to talk about. Y'all tune in and tap into the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide. Till next time, signing off, TBFN. Y'all know what it is.